Number 1 brings us Half-Life Alyx, the landmark VR title that sets the gold standard for what virtual reality gaming can achieve. Set between the events of Half-Life and Half-Life 2, you play as Alyx Vance, fighting against the Combine occupation in City 17. The game was built specifically for VR from the ground up, utilizing every aspect of the medium to create immersive gameplay where you physically interact with the environment by picking up objects, reloading weapons manually, and solving puzzles through natural hand movements. The level design is exceptional, with detailed environments that reward exploration and environmental storytelling that builds the world without relying heavily on cutscenes. Combat feels intense as you lean around cover, aim down sights naturally, and manage limited ammunition against various combined forces and headcrab zombies. The gravity gloves let you pull objects from a distance with satisfying physicality, making looting and item collection feel engaging rather than tedious. Graphics push VR hardware capabilities with impressive lighting, detailed textures, and atmospheric effects that create genuinely unsettling moments in darker sections. The story delivers emotional beats and expands Half-Life lore significantly. Number 2 takes us to Batman Arkham Shadow, a VR exclusive that brings the acclaimed Arkham gameplay formula into virtual reality with impressive results. Playing as Batman in the early days of his crime-fighting career, you investigate the mysterious Rat King terrorizing Gotham City through a noir-inspired detective story. The combat system adapts the free-flow mechanics of previous Arkham games into VR, where you physically dodge, block, and strike enemies using motion controls that make you feel like the Dark Knight. Detective mode returns enhanced for VR, letting you scan crime scenes, analyze evidence, and reconstruct events by physically examining clues in three-dimensional space. Stealth sections emphasize vertical movement and planning as you grapple to vantage points, perform silent takedowns, and utilize gadgets like batarangs and smoke pellets to control encounters. The scale of Gotham feels impressive in VR, with detailed architecture and atmospheric lighting that captures the dark, gothic aesthetic the franchise is known for. Boss encounters provide memorable set pieces that test both your combat skills and problem-solving abilities. The narrative explores Batman's psychology and moral code through challenging scenarios. Number 3 showcases Asgards Wrath 2, an epic action RPG that demonstrates the potential for full-scale adventures in virtual reality. This sequel expands dramatically on the original, with a vast open world spanning multiple realms of Egyptian mythology, where you play as a mortal hero chosen by Loki. The scope is remarkable for a VR game, with dozens of hours of content, including main story quests, side missions, dungeons, and optional challenges scattered throughout the world. Combat combines melee weapons, ranged attacks, and godly powers with physics-based interactions that make every fight feel visceral and strategic. The follower system lets you recruit animal companions who fight alongside you, and can be possessed to solve puzzles or access areas your human form cannot reach. Progression includes extensive skill trees, weapon crafting, and equipment upgrades that provide meaningful character development. The world design features impressive scale, with towering monuments, detailed cities, and varied environments from deserts to lush oases that showcase the visual capabilities of modern VR. Boss battles are spectacular, multi-phase encounters. Number 4 delivers Metro Awakening, a VR prequel to the acclaimed Metro series that brings the claustrophobic tension of post-apocalyptic Moscow tunnels into virtual reality. Set before the events of Metro 2033, you experience the early days of the Metro Society through a story focused on survival horror and human drama in the underground. The atmosphere is oppressively tense, with dark tunnels illuminated only by your lighter or headlamp, creating genuine dread as mutant creatures lurk in the shadows. Resource management is crucial as you scavenge for ammunition, filters for your gas mask, and supplies to craft items necessary for survival. The weapon handling is methodically realistic, requiring manual reloading, checking your inventory by physically looking at your chest rig, and maintaining equipment condition. Environmental storytelling creates a lived-in world where every station tells stories of the survivors trying to maintain civilization underground. Stealth plays a major role, as ammunition scarcity encourages avoiding confrontation when possible. The gas mask mechanic adds tension as you monitor filter duration while navigating irradiated areas, wiping condensation off the visor to maintain visibility. Number 5 presents Beat Saber, the rhythm game phenomenon that became VR's most recognizable title through addictively simple yet endlessly replayable gameplay. Armed with 2 lightsabers, you slice through blocks matching the music's rhythm while avoiding obstacles and walls that test your reflexes and coordination. The core gameplay loop is immediately satisfying, with precise tracking making every successful slice feel rewarding, while the difficulty scales from accessible beginner levels to expert charts that demand incredible hand-eye coordination. The music library has expanded massively through DLC packs, featuring licensed tracks from major artists across various genres, ensuring there is content appealing to different musical tastes. Custom song support on PC through mods provides virtually unlimited content from the community, with players creating charts for thousands of songs. The exercise benefits are substantial, as higher difficulties require full-body movement and sustained physical activity that provides genuine cardio workouts. The visual feedback with neon aesthetics and particle effects creates an engaging audiovisual experience. Multiplayer modes add competitive and cooperative elements for playing with friends. Number 6 offers Blade and Sorcery, a physics-driven melee combat sandbox that provides the most satisfying medieval warfare in VR. The game focuses entirely on combat systems without a traditional story campaign, instead offering various arenas and scenarios to test your skills against AI opponents. The physics engine is incredibly detailed, with realistic weapon handling, momentum-based damage calculations, and full-body inverse kinematics that make every encounter feel authentic. Weapons range from swords and axes to spears and bows, each requiring proper technique and timing to use effectively against enemies who actively defend and counterattack. The magic system lets you cast spells through hand gestures, combining elemental powers with physical combat for creative approaches to fights. Environmental interactions allow using objects as improvised weapons, pushing enemies off ledges, or manipulating the battlefield to your advantage. The modern community has created extensive content, adding new weapons, powers, maps, and gameplay mechanics that dramatically expand the base experience. Gore and dismemberment are graphically detailed, emphasizing the brutal nature of medieval combat. The skill ceiling is high, rewarding players who learn proper swordplay techniques. Number 7 brings Arken Age, an action-adventure that combines exploration, combat, and puzzle solving in a science fantasy world. You play as a character exploring ancient ruins in hostile environments filled with mechanical enemies and environmental hazards. The movement system emphasizes physicality, with climbing, grappling, and platforming sections that require careful hand placement and spatial awareness. Combat blends ranged weapons with melee attacks, encouraging tactical approaches, where you analyze enemy patterns and exploit weaknesses. The puzzle design integrates VR interactions naturally, requiring you to manipulate objects, activate mechanisms, and observe the environment carefully to progress. The art direction features striking visuals with alien architecture and bioluminescent flora, creating memorable locations to explore. The progression system unlocks new abilities and equipment that opened previously inaccessible areas, encouraging backtracking and exploration. Boss encounters provide challenging set pieces that test all your skills learned throughout the campaign. The game maintains steady pacing with regular checkpoints and varied gameplay that prevents fatigue during longer sessions. Number 8 showcases Ghost Town, a supernatural Western adventure that blends VR shooting mechanics with exploration in a unique setting. You arrive in a mysterious frontier town plagued by paranormal activity and must uncover the truth behind the haunting. The atmosphere perfectly captures the Old West aesthetic with detailed period architecture, dusty streets, and authentic weapon handling for revolvers and rifles. The ghost encounters combine action with puzzle elements, where you must discover how to banish different spirit types using specific methods. Environmental storytelling reveals the town's dark history through notes, objects, and spectral visions that piece together the narrative. The gunplay feels satisfying with manual reloading and aiming that rewards accuracy, while the variety of weapons provides different tactical options. Exploration is encouraged through hidden collectibles and optional areas that expand the lore. The pacing balances tense, supernatural encounters with quieter investigation segments. The voice acting and sound design create an immersive Western horror experience that stands out in the VR landscape. Number 9 presents Underdogs, a stylish VR brawler that combines martial arts combat with parkour movement through cyberpunk-inspired environments. The combat system emphasizes fluid combos where you chain punches, kicks, and special moves into devastating sequences against waves of enemies. Movement mechanics let you wall run, slide, and perform acrobatic maneuvers that keep you mobile during fights and create dynamic encounters. The art style uses bold colors and striking visual effects that give the game distinct personality while maintaining readability during chaotic action. Enemy variety forces you to adapt strategies as different opponent types require specific approaches to defeat effectively. The upgrade system lets you unlock new abilities and enhance existing moves, expanding your combat options as you progress. Boss battles provide memorable challenges that test your mastery of the combat mechanics. The music drives the action, with energetic tracks that complement the fast-paced gameplay. Time dilation mechanics let you slow time strategically, adding a tactical layer to the otherwise action-focused experience. The campaign structure provides steady progression with increasing difficulty. Number 10 delivers Vertigo 2, a story-driven shooter that serves as both sequel and refinement of the VR FPS formula. The campaign takes you across diverse environments from alien worlds to underground facilities, each with distinct visual identities and gameplay challenges. The weapon variety includes both conventional firearms and experimental energy weapons, each handling uniquely and suited for different combat scenarios. Level design emphasizes exploration with hidden areas, optional objectives, and collectibles that reward thorough investigation. The physics interactions allow creative problem-solving where you can manipulate objects, construct makeshift barriers, or trigger environmental hazards against enemies. Enemy AI is competent with flanking behaviors, cover usage, and coordinated attacks that require tactical thinking. The story unfolds through environmental storytelling and occasional character interactions that build intrigue without interrupting gameplay flow excessively. Boss encounters are varied and memorable, requiring you to learn patterns and exploit weaknesses. The pacing is excellent with regular checkpoints, varied gameplay segments, and a playtime that respects your time while delivering a complete adventure. Number 11 brings us Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate, a time-traveling puzzle adventure that emphasizes story and exploration over action. You use a mysterious watch to travel through different historical periods, solving puzzles that affect the timeline and alter the course of history. The puzzle design integrates time manipulation mechanics, where actions in one era impact others, requiring careful observation and logical thinking to progress. The historical settings are meticulously detailed, from ancient temples to modern facilities, each period feeling authentic through art direction and environmental design. Interaction mechanics require physically manipulating objects, combining items, and performing specific actions that feel natural in VR. The narrative explores themes of causality and consequence as your choices ripple through time with meaningful impacts on the story. Voice acting and character interactions add emotional weight to the plot, making you invested in the outcome. The game avoids combat entirely, focusing on cerebral challenges and narrative delivery. The pacing allows time to appreciate each environment and fully engage with the puzzles without pressure. Multiple solutions to certain challenges encourage experimentation and creative thinking throughout the adventure. Number 12 concludes with Into the Radius 2, a hardcore survival shooter set in a mysterious, anomalous zone inspired by Stalker. You venture into the hazardous Pechorsk exclusion zone, scavenging for artifacts while managing limited resources and surviving hostile entities. The survival mechanics are unforgiving, with realistic weapon handling that requires proper maintenance, ammunition management, and careful inventory organization. The anomalies create environmental hazards that demand caution and observation, with detector tools helping identify safe paths through dangerous areas. Enemy encounters are tense affairs where ammunition scarcity forces tactical approaches, making every shot count and retreating often being the wiser choice. The atmosphere is oppressively lonely, with abandoned industrial zones, eerie forests, and the constant threat of reality-warping phenomena creating psychological tension. Base management between expeditions involves organizing loot, maintaining equipment, and planning your next venture with limited supplies. The progression feels earned as you gradually acquire better gear and expand your operational radius. The immersive sim elements encourage emergent gameplay where creative problem-solving and risk assessment determine success or failure in the hostile zone.